We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are on chapter 2, text 7. Karpanya doshopahata svabhava prachami tvam dharma sammutta chetaha yakshreya shyan nischitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham sadimam tvam prapanam. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Now I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So Arjuna has been perplexed. He has been giving so many reasons why he doesn't want to fight. And then now what is he saying? Now he's changing the relationship. Arjuna and Krishna are friends. But now what he's saying, now I'm your disciple. I'm a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So now he is willing to accept the instructions from Krishna. So Krishna does not instruct him before Arjuna came to this point. It's only when Arjuna's come to this point that I surrender unto you, that Krishna starts speaking the message of Bhagavad Gita. So same to us also, same with us. You know, the way we approach a spiritual master, we should approach submissively in a surrendered mood so that they can reveal the knowledge to us. So by nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. Oh, we think that, oh, another person has already gotten the proper map to life. It's only I am who's confused in my life. Only I don't know what am I doing. But another person has made it. He or she knows perfectly what they are doing with their life, where they are coming from, where they are going, and they have that perfect thing. No, but that's a myth. That's a myth. Why? Because that's the nature of this material world is, it's a source of perplexity for everyone. Each of us over here is in a very confused dilemma state. In every step, there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. So each and every one, we should approach a bona fide spiritual master, one who can give us proper guidance. For what? To execute the purpose of life. We make so many purposes of our life. We make up so many goals, you know, but what is the actual purpose of life? We can understand only when we approach a spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master. There are many people who pose themselves as spiritual masters, but a spiritual master is one who knows the science of Krishna, who can take us to Krishna, who can help us to cut this, make this life our last life, cut this material attachment. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life, which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire, which somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Yeah, that's what we think. Oh, what did I do to deserve this? Why is my life in such a turmoil suddenly? You know, we have that so many times, so many experiences in our life, but it happens. That's how the nature of the material world is. For example, we are seeing this since 2 years, COVID is going on. What happened? You know, similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in disciplic succession. So we need to approach a spiritual master who is coming in the parampara system, because only if he's coming in the parampara system, then he's bona fide. As the example is given that there is I have a box and I paint it red or I paint it green and I post a letter in it. And I expect it to reach to the receiver. Nobody's going to come and take it. It's never going to reach to the receiver. Why? Because the postman knows that he doesn't know that this letter box, he has to come and pick up the letter. It's not authorized by the postal authority. Only when I post the letter, which is authorized by the postal authority, then I have a guarantee that it will reach to the person I want to send it to. Similarly, there are so many so-called self-proclaimed gurus or self-proclaimed spiritual masters, but they cannot help us to make a permanent solution to birth, death, old age, and disease. Why? Because they are not authorized. They are not authorized by Krishna. They are not authorized by the Supreme Lord to do this service. They are not the representatives of the Supreme Lord. Only a person who's been authorized for this purpose can do this. That person has the power to do it. So, sometimes the example is given, for example, how the ambassador is given the authority by the President of India to act in that capacity in a foreign country. Not everyone is an ambassador of India, although they might be born in India, but the specific authority is given only to the one who has been authorized by the President to carry out power, to issue the passports. Not all of us can do it. No. So similarly, the spiritual master, he's given the authority. So this is the purport of this verse. Who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. We might think, oh, I have so many problems. I have so many problems of life, you know. But what is the real main problem of life? In the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 3:8-10, the perplexed man is described as follows. Yova etad aksharam gargi aviditvasmal lokat preti sakripanaha. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who quits this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. So the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad is calling the person a person, not a human being. He's saying, if you have not solved your problem of life, then you are as good as a cat or dog. Why? Because you did not solve your problem. You did not understand the science of self-realization. That's what Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad is calling us. Oh, I am not even a human being if I die here without understanding what self-realization is. I'm a cat or a dog then. And I'm miserly. So this human form of life is a most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. One who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. So it's because why? It's only in this human form of life that I can make a solution to my life. If I am born as an animal or as a tree or even as a demigod in heavenly planets and Swargalok or something, I cannot find the proper solution to the problem of life. It's only in the human life that I can do. On the other hand, there is a Brahmana who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. Ya etad aksharam gargi vivit sama lokat preti sa brahmana. A Brahmana means a person who's using the body. We have this body right now, so we need to use it. Well, how do we use it? Shall we use it to enjoy ourselves to no end so we can continue to stay in the material world? Or should we use this body to solve all the problems of life? That choice is given to us. Each of us have that independent choice. So, but a Brahmana who uses the body to solve the problem, a person who uses the body to solve the problems of life is called a Brahmana. Now, what are the actual problems of life? Let's read. The Kripanas or miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. in the material conception of life. One is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members on the basis of skin disease. So what does it mean? Does it mean we should abandon our family? Huh? So no, we don't abandon anyone. The Kripana thinks that he's able to protect his family members from death, or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. So I'm thinking I can save my family from dying, or that they can save me from dying. That is the miserly mentality. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still, on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He's therefore asking Lord Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, to make a definite solution. So here Arjuna is thinking, oh, how can I kill my family members? So that is our problem of life: birth, death, old age, and disease. That is really the problem of life, which we need to find permanent solution for. Because in each body we take, we have this birth, death, old age, and disease. And those are problematic. And somebody will say, why is birth a problem? It's such a happy situation. We are so happy. But because we forget, staying cramped up in the mother's womb, in whatever species of life we are in human being, it's like 9 months, staying head down, being bitten by the worms. Then there is the fire in the mother's stomach, so being burnt by that. So it's not a pleasant situation, but it's just because we forget, we don't remember. And then disease, nobody likes to be diseased. And the old age, none of us want to become old. None of us. And death, no way, why should I die? But we have to. These are the problems of life. So he offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and disciple are serious. And now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. So here Krishna himself is giving the knowledge. So he's a spiritual master, he's the guru. Krishna is the original guru. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself. And yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. Many people say that, oh, I don't have to surrender to Krishna, I have to surrender to something which is inside Krishna. But Arjuna, when Krishna is saying, surrender unto me, then Arjuna understands and he accepts, oh yes, I understand and I accept that you are the Supreme Lord. Krishna is not saying you surrender to something inside me or outside me. There is no difference between Krishna's within and without, because Krishna is absolute. He's absolute. And one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is the supreme person. He's a person. And if we want, we can get to know him. We can have an eternal relationship with him. That's our original position. And that's the permanent solution to our keeping on changing the bodies. That's a permanent solution to all the problems of life. Is that okay?
Yes.
Any questions or comments or doubts?
No, all good.
Yeah. So
in this part, as we are reading, so Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna, right?
yes,
He's accepting his as the Lord.
yes. Not yet.
Not yet, right?
Yeah. Not
Sorry.
yet, because Krishna has not yet given the instruction.
Yeah.
But what is he saying? That I'm surrendering. So our surrender also happens in layers. Here, first, Arjuna is surrendering to be able to understand the knowledge. Then after he receives the knowledge, he completely surrenders to Krishna and he agrees to act as Krishna's will, Krishna's instruction. So same for us. If we want to understand this knowledge, first we have to accept this knowledge. We have to surrender. Oh yes, this knowledge is higher than me. It's beyond me. Let me try to understand it. Let me try to approach a spiritual master. He knows, I don't know. And then the spiritual master will guide us.
So this is the level 1 surrender, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was wondering that he surrenders later and then what happens suddenly? Like, what is this kind of surrender?
So because even like, he's taking our position, right? Like our surrender happens in many layers, many layers. So we say, oh yes, I'm surrendered, but then we can notice after a certain time, oh, I think I can surrender a bit more, there's still some more space. So like that, yeah.
So that's a process. That's a slow and a gradual and a non-ending process, right?
Yeah. Well, it's slow because we don't want to surrender immediately. So it depends on our desire, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But at least stay in the process, hear and chant, continue to hear and chant, and let others hear and chant. They don't have to be everyone. It doesn't have to be that I have to give this hearing and chanting only to my family. Whoever is willing to hear, they could be any caste, any community, anyone, any species, trees, birds, animals. Of course, it's more specific for human beings because they can get the most advantage of it. But yeah, we can do our part. So thank you so much for joining in today. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hari